Slide 2, we have a formula up at the top of the page, and then we have what each of those variables is standing for you. This is not something that you will have to memorize, but you do need to know how to apply that information. If the rate is given as a percent, you will have to change it to a decimal, and we've done this before in some of our work, so let me remind you, decimal and percent. If you're starting out as a percent and then you're moving to a decimal, you're going to move your decimal to the left. 2 letters remind you to move 2 spaces. So let's read. Isaiah invested $7,800 into an account that earns 6% interest. So there it is, 6%. There is no decimal showing, so it's hiding at the end. And we're going to do just what we said. We're going to move to the left 2 spaces, 1, 2. So 6% is the decimal. That kind of looks like 67. There we go. 6% is the decimal 0.06. And so we're going to need to use that in our calculations. Then we're going to go down the line and we're going to fill in our information for this first question. The first question says, how much will be in the account after 5 years if the account is compounded monthly? So we need to think in terms of a year. How many months are in a year? And that answer is going to be 12. So we're going to be using this 5, and we're also going to be using a 12, and we're also going to be using that 0.06 in our formula. So we're going to write that down. So we're going to have how much will be in the account. So that's going to be our amount A equals, our principal is your starting amount. That's what principal means. So we're going to start off with 7800, and then in parentheses we have 1 plus, and then we have our interest rate, our R, on top, but we have to use that decimal form. So we're going to have 0.06 over, and then we have our number of times the interest is compounded in a year. So we said that was our, how many times are we doing it? 12 times in a year. Close our parentheses, and then we have our N and our T. Now our N that we just used is the same one as down there, so we're going to put our 12 up here. How many times in a year are we doing this? And then we're going to multiply that by how many years we have. So this says 5 years. So every month we're doing this for 5 years. So that's where the 12 times 5 comes from. Now at this point you're going to go and you're just going to go type the right side of that equal sign into Desmos because there are no variables, and it will give you your answer. So let me make sure that I have my notes written down. You guys are going to scroll down and type this in with me. Remember, the more that we practice, the better we get. And the more you know how to type this in, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. To get a fraction, we use that divide button. Make sure that you move to the right to get out of your fraction to close those parentheses. The AB button, I'm going to hit it a bunch of times real quick so that you can see it flashing down in that white keypad at the bottom. A to the B power is how we get our exponents up high. You could also use that square button and then just go in and edit it if you would like. So here we have our amount. We're talking about money. So what we want to do is we want to go out 2 decimal places and we want to round it because that's how money goes. So we're going to have 10521.03, and the next one is a 1. Is that 1 big enough to push the 3 up? No, it's not. So that's our answer. So we're going to need to go take that answer and we're going to type it in on our Schoology page. And we're also going to have it labeled dollars there is already there. So we do not use a dollar sign. And it says only type in the number for your answer. No dollar signs or commas. Be sure to use 2 places after the decimal for money. Okay? And that is rounding to the nearest hundredth. So we have 105 to 1.03. And the way that we would say that, if you would like to see or know how to do that, the comma would go there, so that would be $10,521 and 3 cents. That's how we would do that. So the work that you show for this question to get all of your points whenever we're doing our final exam is you show your decimal to percent conversion, you show your plugging in, and you show your final answer. There's not a lot that you can do with this question because this is simply a typing question. The next one is going to be along the same lines, but this time it says how much will be in the account after 12 years if the amount is compounded daily. So let's go back through. A equals our principal amount is our starting value, 7800. Then we have 1 plus. Then we have our R up at the top. That's our interest rate. That's where the R comes from. And that's the decimal that we're using, 0.06. The N is the number of times that we're compounding it per year. So we're thinking about days per year. How many days in a year? 365. So we're going to have 365 down on the denominator of that fraction. Out to the side after our parentheses, we have NT. N is the number that we just used, 365. The number of times each year that you are compounding. And then multiplied by T time, and that's going to be our time in years, is going to be 12. So again, we're going to go in and we're going to type this in, what I have in this pink box. And since we just typed it, you scroll down to your Desmos and you can just edit what we did so you don't have to retype everything. Just make sure that we're changing the right things. 12 years, and we had 365. So our principal was 7,800, 1 plus our rate over 365. 365 again times 12 years. And then we have our answer. Again, 16023 would be $16,023. And is our decimal. And then we have 630. Okay, money goes out 2 places, but we need to look at that third place to see if we round 0. Is 0 big enough to push the 3 right in front of it up to a 4? No, it's got to be 5 or higher in order to do that. So your answer is $16,023.63. So let me go ahead and let's see. Let me write this down so that I can do it. 3.63. There we go. So let's go in and type that in. 16023.63, and it already has the